The refresh of the Mazda CX-5 is right around the corner. Spy shots are rolling in. We also got pricing on the Genesis G80, and then also Hyundai shows a teaser of their all-electric big SUV. Man, it feels good to be back in the office. Can't wait to bring you these spy shots of the CX-5. It's a very, very, very minor refresh from what we're seeing here. Could we see some additions of powertrains? I guess, but I'm not getting my hopes up. So the CX-5 will be getting a refresh, it looks like. These images are coming out of China. So this is the current CX-5. I wanted to give you guys an idea of the current CX-5, which is already a great looking SUV. The grille looks very similar, more blocky, I guess maybe a little bit closer to the CX-9 in some ways, but the biggest difference that I see, besides the headlights, we'll talk about more of that in a second, is the bottom lip here. You know, you kind of see in the Mazda 3 sedan. So we have like the little tiny fog lights that you barely even know they're there. So the slit is gone, and it's almost like a little frown down here with the bottom lip. So the chrome strip on the bottom has been modified. It doesn't cut as far into the headlight as it used to. This portion right here is much wider, and the portion at the bottom looks to be a little bit slimmer. You still see the parking sensors on this particular model, but the headlights, these daytime running lights, are going to be the biggest difference for a lot of people. Of course, we're going to have the ability of adaptive front lighting systems like we see on current Mazdas. But these two little cutouts here, looks like a double L. That's your daytime running light. So they're going to look unique. I expect fairly unique compared to what we have right now. And that's one of the things on the Mazda CX-5 that I felt like was aging a little bit, was the daytime running lights on the current model. I can't wait to see what these look like illuminated instead of them turned off and stationary. Now, comparing the back end, it's so similar. I mean, it's been revised a tiny bit on the back. You know, these rear reflectors aren't as big on this refreshed model. The exhaust tips look to be exactly the same. The Mazda badge looks maybe a little bit bigger, but it's very similar. The rear taillights are the biggest difference here. Instead of the more smooth, rounded off nature of the current CX-5, we have a little bit wider, it looks like a little bit wider taillights with a little bit more hard angles to them. But the top portion of the taillight looks very similar, as we kind of have that brow coming over the rear taillights. But overall, it will be interesting to see how different they are when they are illuminated. Hopefully, when these tail lamps are illuminated, they show even greater design differences between the current one. So that will be interesting. But really, CX-5 refresh is going to be very, very mild. Most people won't be able to tell the difference outside of the headlights. And that's not a bad thing, because the CX-5 is already a great looking vehicle. So Mazda just doing a tiny bit to give it a little nip tuck here and there, and we need to get on to the next article here. We're over at the global Toyota page. So this is translated from Japanese. This IS350, IS300H, IS300, yeah, they have a hybrid that has also been updated a little bit. This is going to be their version, or their best version, of the IS500 in some ways. And this is what's called the F Sport Mode Black S. Again, translation from Japanese. But they have some unique configurations to the IS350 because they're not getting the IS500. One of those is the seats. These are the exact same gray and black seats that are in the launch edition of the IS500. So in Japan, no, they're not getting the V8 slotted in there, but they're going to have that interior that's exactly the same. However, looking at the steering wheel, they're not getting the ash wood like the launch edition is getting. So it's just slightly different, but there is a different special edition that will be getting the ash wood, and this is called the F Sport Mode Glitter. Again, translations, but this model, to me, it looks just like a traditional F Sport, but it's getting the ash wood like the launch edition of the IS500, like the IS350, with the dynamic handling package. But one of the big differences is that they're getting black stainless steel window moldings that we see on the IS500. We should be getting that as well on all the IS F Sports here in the United States for the 2022 model year, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. But the black window molding should be coming to all ISs for 2022, but stay tuned as we will see maybe some differences for the United States models. But I wanted to talk about some differences here that I wish we got here in the United States is going to be the auto electric retractable door mirror. Power folding mirrors, that's what we call it here, right? We don't have power folding mirrors on the IS here in the United States. It's really unfortunate. It's standard on the ES, and it should be standard as well on the IS. And there are some additional improvements here on the IS. Lane tracing assist has been reviewed in order to further assist the steering operation in line with the driver's wishes. So yeah, their safety system 2.5 Plus has been upgraded, and they're saying in addition the IS 350/300 uses a new brake pedal and master cylinder to linearize the deceleration g-force with respect to the stroke, achieving a more natural brake feel. So I mean, I thought the brakes were already pretty good on the IS, but as you guys will find in my IS 500 review, there could be some improvements with how it feels. So I'm excited to see what this new brake pedal feels like. And it's probably already been affected into the IS 500 that I test drove. The updates to the brakes. Maybe not. Again, what I drove was a pre-production model, so it's really hard to say. But the brakes are good on the IS. They're lighter than they were before, that's for sure. But there can always be improvements. The IS 300H, which we've never got here in the United States, now can be outfitted with the 1500 watt accessory generator setup. So that's really handy in places that get hurricanes, places that get blackouts, places that get floodings, where the power gets out. So that's really good to see that the IS is getting that upgraded power output for accessories. But we're not done there. Well, we're done with the IS there. We got other things to talk about. Hyundai teases a fully electric IONIQ 7 large SUV. So let's pull up this image. Well, CarScoop's already brightened it up for us. So let's just open this in a new tab here. It looks pretty cool, very smooth. We've seen these front daytime running lights and these bars. We've already been teased that, but we haven't seen these wheels. And again, this is pre-production concept form. Who knows if we'd be able to see wheels similar to this, but if we take the IONIQ 5 as gospel at this point, those wheels are crazy, those 20-inch wheels. So I'm expecting we'll probably get something like 22-inch wheels on this IONIQ 7, but very smooth lines as you would expect because it is electric, so very important for aerodynamics. This looks like it doesn't have a B-pillar here. Now, again, pre-production, it's hard to say, and the window cuts off, and it just looks like one big window from the windshield to the rear quarter panel here. But there is an A-pillar here, so you can guarantee that. But it's interesting that the window stops very early. So you would have, like, you know, the third row passengers back here. I'm assuming it's 3-row. The 3-row passenger is not really having a great window to look through. If it has a glass roof or something like that, that will help light getting in, help with visibility, just providing a better experience for those 3rd-row passengers, aka the little kids, right? But it looks pretty cool. What do you guys think of the IONIQ 7? Should be coming out in 2023, if memory serves me correct. And yeah, it's going to have, I'm sure, the ability to put over 500 horsepower in it, like we see in the EV6 GT from Kia, and what's rumored to be the IONIQ 5 N, full track-ish version of the IONIQ 5. And lastly, the Genesis 2022 G80 starts under $50,000. And this is a really good price. I always said the G80 was kind of a direct competitor to the Lexus GS. Then the GS was killed, so the G80 has even less competition. And the fact that it starts under 50K is good to see. The base engine is the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder with about 300 horsepower and a little over 300 pound-feet of torque. But if you want all-wheel drive, that's going to get you over $52,000. But if you want the twin-turbo V6, it starts around $65,000. That's the 375 horsepower and almost 400 pound-feet of torque. And it'll be interesting to see how the IS 500 is priced. I know it's a smaller vehicle, but since we were talking about the IS earlier in today's video, it'll be interesting. But the IS will have an additional, I don't know, 100 or so, close to 100 horsepower more than this. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. But the IS is not going to have anything like a panoramic moonroof. It's not going to have leather because the IS 500 has synthetic leather, Nulux they call it. It doesn't have 3-zone climate control. That's for dang sure on the Lexus. And remember, since the GS is dead, the IS is the closest thing we have for a sports sedan, because the ES is definitely not it's a luxury comfort sedan. This is definitely more of a sports sedan with the power of the rear wheel drive basis with the ability for all wheel drive. Like I said, it's really the true competitor to the GS. Rest in peace though. But if you want the top of the line G80, 71,000, including destination. Of course, that has a twin turbo V6. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of information of what's available for the $71,000 price tag. I don't know what those options are, largely because when I go over to Genesis's media page, they don't even have this pricing. So it's like Genesis reached out to specific media outlets like CNET that we're at right now and gave them all the juicy details, but they haven't made it a public document for me to dive in and give you guys the full breakdown. So that's kind of unfortunate, but at least we got something to go by. Man, I cannot wait to get in the G80, the 2022 with this interior. Can't wait to review it for you guys. Definitely stay tuned for the channel. But I'm going to end it there. Lots to talk about today. I want to just make one bigger video today. I got a lot of stuff coming for the channel. Corolla Cross hit at the time I recorded this. IS 500 is probably already out or coming out soon. And I'm also traveling this weekend. I'm heading to the East Coast to do a free diving course to get certified with free diving. Love to do some spear fishing. Maybe share it on the channel or other media outlets. But anyways, that's just a hobby of mine. I'll end it there, guys. What do you think of today's news? I'll see you in the comments below. As always, smash the like button if you enjoyed today's recap of news. And subscribe if you're not. I would really appreciate that. Join the luxurious fleet. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.